Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Hold the Ball. I hope you guys are well. Thank you again for tuning in. If you're new, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff there. Look guys, I want to give you my review of the game that was last night. I have had a lot of time to digest it, and I've watched countless highlight vids as well as actually re-watching the second half just to sort of get a grasp on how it all sort of went down for both teams. In saying that though, DJ, before we start, hit that intro. Alright guys, hope you guys are well. Goodness. What a grand final. Right? Like, who here really enjoyed it? Put your hand up if you did. First and foremost, I just want to congratulate both teams for the epic contest that was the final conclusion of the NRL, right? From round one to literally this round here, the final. This was the summation of everything. And I just want to applaud everyone, every player, as well as the referee. So in saying that, I'll carry on. How do I even say anything? The first half. Look, to be fair with you, I think the Panthers were somewhat dominant in patches. It wasn't necessarily, the whole 40 minutes per se, but I'll probably say from like the first minute to probably the 25th minute they were dominant, and obviously you could see the momentum swing. Now this game here in the first half in particular was absolutely physical. Players running from the back fence. The likes of Payne Haas, Carrigan, Flegler for the Broncos. On the other side of the coin, Leota, Fisher Harris. Men who wanted to literally lay everything on that field to win their premiership. I need to applaud just how good it was. Again, the first half as well was a little bit of an arm wrestle, and obviously we sort of saw how it went. A kickoff there by Reynolds, goal line dropout, didn't necessarily go well for him, I don't think. Anyway, obviously Herbie Farnworth tapped it, and unfortunately for Herbie Farnworth, it wasn't as far as he would like. I'm pretty sure he wanted to tap it all the way to Redcliffe if he could, but he couldn't this time. And obviously Mitch Kenny collected it and scored the try, and subsequently kicked things off there. Now, after that point, I really think both teams were still in a bit of a wrestle. However, I could see the momentum shift to a degree. I will say, though, and I'll touch on this in the second half as well, just how surprised I was at... Was it Panthers containing Reece Walsh, or was it the lack of execution by Reece Walsh? Because you sort of saw him burst in patches, but throughout the game, the duration, I think the general theme was he just wasn't quite there. Whether that's a testament to the defense that was, on display, or was he rattled? I'm not too sure. But again, there was just a lot of questions surrounding Reece Walsh there, and to be fair, a lot of questions surrounding Luai as well. To be fair, and Cleary, and I suppose Reynolds. We all know what happened with Reynolds too. He got the injury there, and I thought it was game over for him. Wasn't to be. He toughed it out, which was good to see. Now, as the game sort of wore on in the end of the half, obviously there was a momentum change there. I really think the Broncos won the forwards battle. I really did. And then obviously, in that being said, we have Flegler, who scored the first try near the end. First try for the Broncos in the dying stages of the second half. First half, sorry, apologies. It was a bit of a, how do I say this? A dubious, controversial try, I guess. However, it was awarded a try. That's just the way it went. It was started off by some good attacking play there from the Broncos, who sort of hammered their way through, I suppose, and on I think it was the third tackle set there, they sort of had a little bit of run around, passing the ball back and throw, and on the fourth tackle it sort of accumulated with, I think it was Staggs who collected the ball there and got tackled, and then passed it out to Flegler, who I think just went for a crash ball run, just straight up the guts, head down, bum up type run, and he managed to scoring the sticks there. And again, that's when he knew, I suppose, that things were perhaps changing. Now, the second half comes on the way. The second half for mine will go down in history as probably the greatest, or has to be the greatest half of finals footy in the modern era of NRL. Has to be. This was just the thank you ma'am show. All right, Ezra Mam scoring tries in the 44th, 52, and 54th minute of the game. He exposed the edges of the Penrith Panthers. However, in saying that too, it just felt like Panthers were... The game was slipping away from it. It really felt that way, particularly when Ezra Mam scored the first try. I think a lot of us were probably thinking, okay, something here is not right for the Panthers, right? And you could feel this strong shift of momentum swaying in the way of the Broncos. And I suppose for mine, after that try, I just thought, gee whiz, something's going to happen. And like I touched on before, it did. Almost 10 minutes later, Ezra Mam broke the line again. Again, just out of nowhere, just saw a gap there. Obviously, passed. I think it was Lindsay. No, it was Nathan Cleary. The first time round, I believe, was Lindsay Smith, and the second time round was Cleary. Cleary went to attack him. But I think he was deep enough to be able to maneuver around him, which is what he did. And broke the line and scored a try again. And then you're thinking, okay, this is dangerous, right? That's what you're thinking. And if you're the Broncos, you're probably thinking, we are there. Yeah, we're there. And if you're the Panthers, you're thinking, this is it. But lo and behold, it wasn't. Wait, there is more. Ezra Mam in the 54th minute. Again, for a Reece Walsh line break, I believe it was Nathan Cleary who went for the tackle again. He broke that and obviously ran the line, broke the line, and assisted the try there to Ezra Mam, who scored a hat-trick. And I believe it's the first hat-trick scored in NRL final. So it was just an absolute sensational moment there for the Broncos, is all I can say. Now, when the Broncos scored that try, I think all of us were probably like, yeah, that's it, done, that's a wrap. I genuinely believe a lot of us thought it was a wrap, and I wouldn't even blame you if that was the case, not at all. However, about the 60th, 62nd minute, a guy by the name of Nathan Cleary, not sure if you've heard of him, decided time is running out and it's time for me to stand up, and boy oh boy did he stand up. Nathan Cleary, again, Panthers just sort of holding the, and that's at that stage too, after Ezra Mam scored and Reynolds converted in the third, after the third try, that it was 24 points to 8, or 8 points to 24. So they were up by 16 points. 16 points with 20 minutes to go. In our grand final, I think a lot of Panthers were probably either in tears or just, shaking each other's hands, saying, it was a good season, et cetera, et cetera. And as I said, Nathan Cleary said, no, ma'am. Scored a try off a line break, fending off former teammate, ironically, in Capel, and he passes the ball off to the fastest prop in the game, Moses Leota. Leota scoring on the sticks. All right, beautiful. And then another patch there, I'm not sure how many minutes it was, a 40-20 attempt, gets it, right? Again, shifts the momentum there, and Stephen Crichton, as he always does, his fourth try in the grand final, fourth try in his fourth grand final, and after that, you just saw, you felt there was a swing of momentum. I don't think the Moses Leota try led to a momentum swing per se, but I really think it was after the Crichton try, you're just like, okay, here we go. And obviously by that time there, it was 20 points to 24. Okay, so the Penrith Panthers had caught up, and it was only down by 4 points. And then, I suppose there or thereabouts was the Reynolds kick, and, Nathan Cleary marked it. Caught it, apologies. Obviously had half his leg in, touch, out, touch, and resulted in a play again, etc., etc. So again, all that stuff there happened, which was fancy, but it was a real grind between the two teams after that try was scored by Crichton, for roughly around a good 10, 12 minutes, 10 minutes to be fair. And then, I don't know, by the 77th minute, Nathan Cleary, when Panthers were there near their try line, bashing after bashing, and this was after Tony Staggs got dragged into touch by Turova, or more so tackled, and then they had a set restart. A line goal line dropout. Apologies, and then that's when it happened. Man, basically what happened was the Broncos unfortunately were too spread out. Reece Walsh was on the other side of the galaxy. That's how big the bloody hole was for Cleary, and he spots it and he runs. Right, he passes Jordan Rookie, and then Reece Walsh in vain tries to touch him, but it's just no use. Again, line break, try, and that was virtually it. The countdown was on after that, and obviously there was a bit of a tight little tussle in the minute 30 to go, but at the end there, the Panthers hung on, and they had a historic comeback win. That's probably my best way to summate the game there. Nathan Cleary winning a Clive Churchill medal and cementing his spot as one of the NRL greats at the tender age of 25. We got to understand here for context, Nathan Cleary has about another good 12, 13 years left in the game, okay? Or even 14 if he wanted to. Like, we're talking about somebody who is on the cusp, or could be in the cusp of being one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time. And I think he's actually in that conversation anyway, to be in the greatest of all time conversation. Now, I'm not going to prolong this, but I know a lot of people say, origin this, origin that. But look, I'll tell you what, in a big occasion like this, none of the immortals, how do I say this? No one that's going to be an immortal from this modern era has ever won, or probably ever win 3 in a row. All right, Cooper Cronk is the closest as they come, winning back to back, but the likes of Smith, Johns, Thurston, right? Nah, won't even come close to that Cleary record. Like, and we've had so many great teams in the past too, the likes of the Roosters, the Storm, the dominant Storm, the Broncos, right? Penrith Panthers. This, in my opinion, the Penrith Panthers, in my books, go down as the greatest team in NRL in the modern era. Look, I don't even say of all time, but then I know a lot of you Dragon fans are going to tell, you know what, they won 11 in a row, but 11 in a row. Even the Parramatta Eels 3 in a row. Anyway, I'll stop. I'm getting a bit controversial there, getting a bit argy-bargy. But look, my review of the game was, it was a bloody brilliant, magnificent, sweet, beautiful, sensational game, and a game that all of us deserved. Unfortunately, there for the Broncos, it's another heartbreaking loss, right, where you guys had it, and then unfortunately it just left you guys. For the Penrith Panthers, they just showed why they're so bloody good, and you can't hate them. Like, if you do, whatever, but gee whiz, you can't. It's such a well-oiled machine, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're there again. In saying that, I'll leave that as is. What a game, what a season. That's it. Stay tuned for more content. Take it easy. See you guys next time. Hold the ball up the wires.